Just for nomenclature, I'm always going to talk about what I have and then what the other person has. So like in my video titles, it'll say far armpit versus head control. And that's what I'm in now. Far armpit is what I have. Head control is what she has. Okay, there are kind of a number of side mounts if you consider the different places our arms can be. So that's why I'm teaching it to you the way I am and naming it this way. When we talked about me having my underhook and her having her elbow at the far side of my head, I was able to face her. I was able to face her and do things like try an elbow escape, you know, or if she blocked my elbow escape with her right arm by putting it on the near side. I can face her and I can do things like a belly down escape. What changes when she has my head, did I grab my head? Is it might be very hard to face the person. Depending how skilled she is and how much pressure she puts on, my neck or jaw, it might be, downright impossible and uncomfortable to try and face her at all. So instead of tending my energy this way, I'm going to tend it overhead. Before we even do that one, I want to do one of the easiest escapes from side mount that exists in all of jiu-jitsu. I'm going to lay my leg near her down and turn on my side, and I'm going to plant my foot on the far side from her, and I'm just going to let her look at that and feel like, man, it'd be really easy to just drive my knee across. So if somebody drives their knee across from here, when it touches down on the other side, it becomes very easy to elbow escape the leg that is trailing. So this is the laziest side control escape you could have, and it really just amounts to setting a trap and then springing it when they fall into it. So what I'm going to do is lay my leg near her down, and don't settle for down. I do want to put it down on its side, because if it's going to be useful to me elbow escaping, I need it to be able to dig along the ground like this. Okay? And the other thing I'm doing is I'm lifting my hip bone up a little bit. That makes me a taller hurdle, so she can drive her knee across and she can get to mount. But I'm always very easily going to be able to catch this leg. All of her energy is going this way, so there's sort of a forgotten leg over here. Now, one of the things that I need in order to do this is I need this elbow, the one closer to her, to be kind of on the ground. So that is the last piece. So I'm turning, facing her with my hips. I'm lifting my hips up just a little bit, just on a higher hurdle, so there's no way she can have two knees on the ground. And I'll put my elbow on the ground. And when she drives across, it's very easy just to feed her leg to my legs. It's definitely going to always be true that if I really want to get mount, I'm going to be driving this knee, and there's going to be space now for her to elbow escape where I came from. Right through there. When she controls my head, and it becomes too difficult to face her for things like elbow escapes or belly downs, but what I can do is move her north over my head, and I have the perfect instrument to do that with, perfect tool, which is a ratchet. So this is the Ratchet Escape. So for the Ratchet Escape, I'm going to use my feet on the floor, which give me a lot of power, and I'm going to support my elbow. I'm not going to reach, because I can't count on lifting my opponent. But I pretty much always can count on being able to bridge. Bridging is going to be my greatest source of strength from the bottom. So what I'm going to do is put my elbow kind of on my hip, straighten my arm, and when I lift my hips, I lift everything. Now when I drop my hips, I can leave the space there, and I can get another one. So I'm going to go, and this is again with a straight arm. I'm not heaving her off me with muscle or with like making a muscle. So instead I use my hips, and I bump here, and there's going to be a second bump, and then the second bump I should look over my shoulder toward her, and I'll either move her if she's smaller than me, or I'll move me if she's bigger than me. So if she's a very big person, probably I'll move myself out when I look over my shoulder. If she's smaller, way lighter than me, maybe I move her. I can use the burst, the percussive burst of my feet hitting the floor for an even more impactful bridge. So I can do this 1, 2 very quietly, but I can really surprise somebody, and it's like more effective. my feet hit the ground, and here's the first one. The second one, I look over my shoulder, and either I move or she moves. And that's the Ratchet Escape. So after you get to here, I'm going to have you guys get up and straddle their lower leg. So straddle their lower leg, leave my arm draped over her back, and this is dogfight position. I'm not actually going to sit up where I can take her back for right now. I want to be able to see underneath, so I'm going to stay right here. It's going to be 1, 2, and when I get up, I'm going to leave my head below the horizon of her back so that I can see across, drape my arm over her back, and I am straddling her lower leg. All right, let me answer a question, which is, why am I straddling her lower leg? Well, if I got up but I didn't do that, so I do everything else right, and I get up, she's gonna turn to face me. I mean, nobody wants me beside them, so turn to face me. She's gonna square up to me. So anytime I get a time advantage in a fight, like they have to re-square up to me, that's a good thing. And anytime I can keep the time frame advantage, like when she's facing this way, but I straddle her lower leg, so turn your whole body to face me now. Like you can't because your leg doesn't bend that way, right? And if you do, you're basically giving me top position. So I'm going to give you guys the finishing move to our getting up, which is going to be even better than getting out. It's going to be getting on top, and that's going to be a knee tap takedown. I'm just going to hook her knee, not because I'm strong enough to pull it, but because when I drive my body weight toward it, she falls over and she can't post it out any further. So after I get up, I'm going to hook this, drive in. There's some risk that she creates a hook on my leg, so I'm going to lift my leg up. So you're going to see me do like a little bit of a ballet move here to come around behind. From here, I'm looking underneath her so I can see this. I can see her knee. I hook it, and I don't pull it because you can't guarantee you'll be able to move someone's leg, but I can drive in. I drive in, her legs collapse. I'm going to step over and back out, and I come around, and I'm on the top of side mount, almost the back. It depends what she does next. So the whole move is 1, 2, I get out, and look, my hand's actually kind of already right here. I drive in, I step back, and I'm inside now. So 1, 2, I straddle the leg. I can already see the knee, so I just touch it, drive in, I step back out like this, and I take this top position. I can see the knee, and that's something I told you was important, to have my head down here so I can see. And if I grab the knee, but I take my head out of the equation, I'm essentially pushing her. I can already feel how much harder it's going to be, essentially. My center of gravity is above hers, and it's going to be almost arm strength that helps me finish that. If I keep my head down here when I have the knee, my center of gravity is even or lower, and I don't feel like I need more base or anything to do it. I'm driving right through it. And I'm going to step back out. So, in short, leave your head below the horizon of their body, and the takedown will be easier. After I create my space, if getting up to you feels hard, it might be easier, once you're clear, to just do a single leg scissor, okay? So when I scissor my legs like that, I don't have to get up. I don't have to pull over the radius of my femur. That's a big circle to draw in space to get up over the radius of my femur. Instead, if I scissor, first of all, it gives me momentum. But secondly, I only have to get over the radius of my hip, and I'm already there. So it's a good practice to do that. Let's try it in context. After bumping, just scissor. And it gets you up. The momentum of the movement gets you up, but you're not making a speed bump out of your own leg. Maybe this has happened to you guys, but sometimes you'll get to dogfight, to this position where I'm straddling her lower leg. So far so good, I got up like I should. But you may find that the knee is just out of reach. That could be because they're naturally flexible, because they know what you're trying to do. There's a few reasons that this could happen. If you can't reach the knee, See if with your hand holding their hip or the hand over their back, if you can't find their foot, if you can, pass the foot. I'm getting a grip of the foot, passing it to my front hand, and I'm trying to bring the foot in sort of in front of her body. And now when I do this, she's off base and I can take her down. But the direction I cannot take her down is where she has base. She has base this direction now. So this is no longer the direction to go. I want to take her backwards. And if you guys have ever heard me say that all takedowns when we're on the ground are 90 degrees across the shin. If you ever land here and the knee is just too far away, use the other hand to go find the foot, pass it forward to the front hand, and now I can no longer drive toward her knee. That won't help me knock her over. It's always 90 across the shin, so her shin is parallel to this line here. So I'm just going to take her backwards, and I'm already on top. All right. So same starting position. I reach for the knee, and I can't reach the knee. I search a little blindly, because it is behind her, a little blindly for the foot, but I realize that that's out of reach too. If that's the case, sometimes bringing the one foot toward me makes this like whole parallelogram move. Sometimes when you move one, the other moves also. And they don't mean for it to. It just becomes very uncomfortable on the hips. It's a hip torque where they just kind of both move. So it's something worth trying. Of course, we can change strategy also. So I could also, by the time I've done all this, we can change strategy and I can get up and I can go for the back. I can start trying to take the back, change strategy. I just want to show you guys how to get from dogfight to side mount by driving them over. And it's a good little exercise in troubleshooting. So see about moving one leg to move the other one. You'll find that on a lot of people, it moves that leg. So if you haven't done a Whizzer before, it's just anytime she reaches this hand back over my arm and between our bodies, yes. She actually has a body control over me, which allows her to move me, yeah. As soon as someone reaches through here, you can expect them to put that pressure, and instead of getting thrown to the ground, what I'm going to have you do is turn to face away, and my hand that's around her back, I'm going to turn sort of palm up, and I'm going to let my arm go loose, and I'm going to draw a big circle. Okay? So it's like the air guitar escape. Right? So she puts in the Whizzer. I'm going to let my palm turn up, this one, backwards behind me. I'm going to look away from her and let this arm spin out. And now I'm in a position where I can take the back. I'm putting in a harness, and I've started to sort of attack the back. So I am changing strategy, but I had to because she put this Whizzer in. So one more time. Whizzer comes in. I'm going to look away, turn palm up. That's just the beginning of me turning my arm so that I can limp arm out, right? It's a wrestling kind of concept, limp arm. I'm going to let this arm come out. And the arm that came out is going around the waist. The other one's going over the shoulder. And I'm creating the harness half of a hooks and harness back control. If he goes back for a Whizzer and he's trying to throw me down, it's not a very different thing than if he grabs me in a headlock. That's the same thing. He's going to get this ability to hold my head in and down. So they really are going to have the same answer. I'll show you off the Whizzer because I think it'll be easier to see, but I'll show you that it works on both. So if he puts a Whizzer in, and he's really adding a lot of pressure, first I'm catching myself with this hand, and then the move I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put my knee next to his knee, and then I'm going to put my hand next to his other knee. So I'm going to go here, and he's putting pressure down. I'm here and here. I roll him over. I take mount off of the roll. I tend to take mount. You can take side mount as well. I was in dogfight. He reaches back for the Whizzer. He's really putting something into it, and this guy is really committed to an energy going down and in. So I'm going to go with it. I'm going to put my knee next to his knee and my hand next to his other knee. So I'm going to do these two things and then roll. And he's here. You could take side mount here. Or you could step over, which is what I did on my first rep here. Headlock, really the same energy, really the same answer. He puts me in a headlock, so basically he's not going to be basing when I roll through. It's the same answer. I'm going to go here and here. Roll him over, and now I'm on top of side control. He may still have my head, but I can punish that later. We have an arm bar from here and stuff. So get to this position, but do put your hands down for base so someone doesn't throw your head into the ground. Because my head, the knee, and the hand go. So far with the ratchet, we've been talking about ratchet to dogfight. So I've been doing the ratchet and coming up immediately to straddling this leg, and we have some options from here. Another option with your ratchet is to get up after you secure the leg. So you can secure the leg first, and we're going to just work on getting up with the leg secured with my arm this time instead of stepping over it. So I'm going to do the ratchet. I'm going to come out. I'm going to tuck my elbow to my side, because tucking this elbow to my side is going to make it easier to get up. But the control I'm talking about getting is not around the waist anymore. It's everything is below the belt. I'm going to grab her leg here. I just get a grip here, and then I can pop up to here. Okay? So that's, we're going to go this far with what is going to be basically a ratchet to kind of a single leg finish. It's almost like a wrestling approach. So I'm going to ratchet, come out, tuck my elbow, and catch her leg here. And once I have her leg, I can scissor my legs to get up. This time I'm not straddling her leg. This time the control on her leg is with my hand right here. I just want to talk about the difference between the grips one more time. Nick's a wrestler, and he's got like a really good sprawl. So if I had the wrong grip on his leg, he could definitely make me know it. All right, so I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna grab his leg like we talked about, and I'm gonna get up. And I just want to compare this for you guys. This grip to a kind of a single leg grip where I take my hands, I connect them around his leg. This looks like it would be a stronger grip, but if you can do it hard. If he sprawls, yeah, that's easily gonna bring. Yeah, and he's gonna come around the front. Good. If instead of just controlling the upper leg, which if you think about it is like the closer to his core, it's the stronger part of his leg. If I control sort of the end of the lever, and not only am I just grabbing the shin, but I'm doing my whole hand, and I have like a bit of a lever against his upper leg here too. So if he sprawls here, I can keep this grip no matter what he does. So this is a better grip than a two-hand grip. One-hand grip is better than two-hand grip, probably because of where they are. A two-hand grip would be on the upper leg, and he has all that core power he can just drop through. But this one, I'm controlling the end of the lever. So again, looking for leverage everywhere we can. That's why this grip is so good. So I grab this. He shouldn't be able to sprawl to get rid of it. Whereas if I was here, he really can. Yeah. He can really punish me for that grip. So that's why we do the one that we do. So let's finish getting up from this movement right here. So I'm using the ratchet and essentially setting up, like we said, a single leg. Before I even get up, I grab this leg. And now I'm going to scissor to get up. And like the other one, we are going to feed the leg to my leg. So I actually am going to feed the leg to my leg. This is actually going to kind of look like the one we did when I couldn't reach the knee or the foot, and I pulled one of them. So that's what this is going to be. I'm going to pull this square out of alignment, take one point, and I'm going to feed it to my leg. And then I'm going to start driving around. Now my head goes into her ribs right here, and I'm going to circle and drive her down. Okay? And one more thing we're going to do is, if she's fighting as hard as she can to stay up, she might still actually even be up on her elbow. So I just drove you down. Yep, and I've knocked her down this far so far. I'm going to kind of climb her body. I got the leg, and this knee is sort of taken care of. Now I'm going to get the hand, and I'm going to feed it to my hand behind her back. And we're going to get, I don't know if you guys know about Khabib, but this is like a Khabib, a Nurmagomedov type grip where I get her arm behind her back and I'm behind her. It's hard to get away from. So I'm going to catch the leg. I'm going to scissor and get up. And now to continue, you've done this much. To continue, I'm going to feed this. And it's not just that I'm driving into her. When I circle to the front, I'm dragging this foot with me, kind of. And I knock her over. And now I can climb up, look for her hand, feed it to my other hand, drive her down. And it's a little more sophisticated ending of this move than just getting side mount. I actually have a nice grip with her hand behind her back. In the last move where I did the ratchet and I ended up grabbing the leg before I got up, so it looked like this. I grabbed the leg and then I got up. It's possible that you run into trouble just before you get up. So it's possible that because I grabbed the leg before I got up that he whizzers me now. And this might make it hard to get up. So instead what I'm going to do, instead of trying to get up and getting whizzered onto my head, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use my leg to capture his foot while still lying on my side. And then I'm going to take my hand, put it over his back, and I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to underhook his far leg. So now I have like come here grips on his back and his far leg. And it even looks like I'm going to pull him toward me, but I'm not going to pull him toward me. I'm actually going to bring his knee, captured by my legs, toward his other knee by shoveling my hips. I put my toes on the floor and I shovel my hips toward, and he rolls over here, and it puts me on top. Before I get up, I grab his leg, which means I might run into a whizzer before I get up. If I do run into this whizzer before I get up, rather than have him effectively just throw me back down, I'm going to stay on my side, laying on my side, feed his leg to my legs. So I'm going to catch this between my legs, reach over his back, and reach with this hand under his far leg. Now with my body against this near knee, I'm going to use my body to bring the near knee toward the far knee, which I'm holding with my right hand. So now, shoveling my hips under. This is actually more effective to take my hips and go like this, bop, 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 than it is to try and roll somebody over me. Meaning if I had a hold of him and I just do this, I'm going to carry his weight longer, and it probably took strength to do, as opposed to shovel, shovel, shovel underneath him. That's the kind of movement that we want to do. That's the most leverage that we're going to need.